Hey guys, what is up? Today I come to you with a double review of Starmyu Season 2 with episodes 10 and 11. And next week is the final act. It's the final episode, and I have to say, as well as many of all of you, have to say goodbye once again to this series. So, before we do that, let's get on to this review. So, starting with episode 10, we saw Hoshitani. For the most part, he was stuck in a rut. His back was against the wall, and it was simply because he felt like he was not appropriate for the role of Lambert. Now, we know originally he was auditioning for Lambert's shadow, but because of circumstances, Hiragi was chosen to go to Broadway to go and play some type of play there, and so he thought the best person that was fit to play his part within the Shadow and Lights play was Hoshitani. Now, he explains his reasons why he picked Hoshitani out of everybody else. Now, just before that, we're early in the episode while they're still practicing because they're 1 month away from the play actually happening, and Hoshitani is playing his part as Lambert, and we have Otori Senpai playing his part as Alexis. You know, these two characters within the play have a particular song that they sing with each other, and while they're singing, Hoshitani, just for a quick second, flashes back to when Hiragi was in the same position that he was in, and he was singing Otori Senpai. And once he flashed back to that and came back to what's happening currently, he automatically stopped singing. Now, each time they go back to practice, he gets stuck in the same position, the same verse of the song, and he can't move on. And the reason for that is actually really simple. It's because he feels like he doesn't deserve to play this role at all. He feels like when he explains that his dream of standing on the same stage as Otori Senpai, that was his dream when he entered Ayanagi Academy. That when he first met that high schooler while he was in middle school, and that high schooler inspired him to attend this school in hopes that one day he could stand on the same stage as him. And the fact that this dream he has become reality. And this is when he was speaking to Hiragi Senpai about this, because what happened was he decided to run away for a little bit to go clear his head, and this caused everybody to have a manhunt trying to search for him, and he's not answering his phone or his text, so everybody's worried of where his whereabouts are. And he's speaking to Hiragi Senpai, even though it's cooled down now and everybody knew that originally early morning he was practicing with Inomine, just trying to get more into the role. He felt like, you know, with his dream becoming a reality, and he felt like he did not really fit the role of Lambert. He was scared. He was afraid. And we had where Hiragi told him, the only reason why I chose you is because we are of the same. Because we know what type of person Otori Senpai is. We know that we are very close to him, and the fact that he is someone that won't tell his true feelings, and that he is a coward, he runs away from certain problems. So the fact that they know Otori so well and that they're so close to him, he felt like no one else can have this part, this role, except for Hoshitani. So once he tells him that, and they were able to talk things out with each other, he continued to help Hoshitani to better understand his role as Lambert. And he told him that Lambert's role is basically through his singing and him talking to Alexis, is him knocking on Alexis' heart to open up. And once you're able to get through that to the audience, this is how you create a musical. This is how you create a play. So for Hoshitani now, he must be able to understand Lambert's role and understand that he is the one that holds the key to unlocking Alexis' heart. And now we're 1 week away, and then get into episode 11. Now they're less than a week, they're 5 days away, and everyone is preparing for the big day of the play. And I was shaking because not much really happened in this episode, but all we saw was everyone preparing, and then finally the day of the play has started, and so everyone is getting prepared. Everyone is getting into their costumes, getting ready to go on stage and performing to a large crowd, and everyone is doing really well for the most part. And we had, the backstage crew preparing for any time the actors are finished with their part. They come in, fix them up so they can go back onto the stage. Of course, it was really highlighted, so they showed it once again, the trapdoor, which they mentioned, saying that they didn't really use it for the years prior until now. So they decided to use the trapdoor this year for the fact of when Hoshitani as Lambert, we had Yuri Hiza. I think I butchered his name. I'm so sorry. And then he's telling Lambert that it's your fault that Alexis is like this and you must be condemned to hell. And then it's metaphorically that Lambert falls to hell. So he falls through the trapdoor, and eventually within the play he comes back and sees where he has done wrong. And they thought that was very good to use a trapdoor. So while the play is happening, what happened was one of the crew members accidentally knocks down one of these props onto the mat that Hoshitani was supposed to fall on, and they eventually removed it. But what happened was there was a small nail that Agiha saw on there, so he needed to take that off or something serious could have happened once Hoshitani fell through. And he did take it up, but Hoshitani was still falling, and before you know it, the screen went black for a second. And then we saw where Hoshitani and Agiha was lying on the mattress, and Agiha gets up, but Hoshitani is not getting up at all. So we don't know how serious the situation is for the fact of Hoshitani not getting up. And each episode after the ending song they show an extended scene, but instead they decided to show what happens for the final episode. So we don't know how serious the situation is going to be, because Hoshitani has not gotten up, and we don't know if he's really injured or not. And that's the part that got me scared, because I was starting to tremble throughout this episode, because not only for the fact that it's the day of the play, but I felt something bad was going to happen, and my gut feeling was right. So we'll see for the final episode, for the final act of this season. Just before that, I would like to hear from you guys. What do you like about this second season that you saw as an improvement from the first season? Do you believe that this show deserves a third season, or at least an OVA? In my opinion, I think we might get an OVA but not a third season, simply because I don't think the studio or the producers are willing to extend it that much. But an OVA would be appropriate to just fill in some of the loose ends that the second season has had, especially in concerns of some characters which could have been explained more, but due to time constraints they couldn't have done that with the wide array of characters that we had in this season versus last season. If you had to choose who was one of your favorite characters versus your least favorite characters of this season, and would you recommend this show to anyone to watch if they don't mind, singing in every single episode? And the links are in the description box, so you guys go check that out. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye!